Life has an uncanny way of placing us exactly where we need to be, even if it feels like the opposite at the time. Maybe you felt it too, that moment when everything falls apart and you're left wondering, why is this happening to me? Let me tell you a story. There was once a traveler who ventured into the heart of the desert, seeking wisdom. With only a map and a heart full of questions, he stumbled upon 3 gates, each with a challenge written on it. The first gate tested his patience, the second his courage, and the third his trust in the unseen. By the time he passed the final test, the traveler realized something incredible. The lessons weren't about the gates at all. They were about him. This is where the magic happens. Each test reveals a part of ourselves we've forgotten, hidden, or never realized we possessed. Today, we'll explore these 3 spiritual tests that we all face at some point in our lives. And trust me, passing them doesn't just change your life. It transforms your very soul. My name is Dante, and this is another episode of Inner Guided, the test of patience. Patience is a silent yet relentless teacher. It's the test that appears when we're stuck in an endless wait, longing for something to change, but nothing seems to happen. Think about that moment in your life when you worked so hard, gave it your all, but the results simply didn't show up. You waited, and the waiting began to chip away at your hope. This is the test of patience. Picture planting a seed. You water it, tend the soil, and wait for it to sprout, but for weeks, nothing. Impatience might tempt you to dig up the seed to see what's wrong. And guess what? That destroys the natural cycle. This test isn't just about waiting. It's about how you wait. A practical example? Take Joseph from the Bible. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers, unjustly imprisoned, and spent years in situations that seemed hopeless. Yet Joseph never lost faith. He learned that God's timing is perfect, and patience is the soil where miracles bloom. When we face this test, we're challenged to trust the process. It doesn't mean being passive, but learning to balance action with faith. Meditation, gratitude, and journaling small wins are ways to cultivate patience. These moments of reflection help us see that the universe has its rhythm, and rushing it is like trying to hurry a sunrise. The great lesson of the test of patience is that it strengthens our character. It teaches us to appreciate the present, value the growth happening invisibly, and realize that waiting is often the preparation needed for something greater than we imagined. Now, imagine your life if you mastered this test. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle would simply be a bend in the road towards something extraordinary. The test of courage. Courage isn't just about facing fears. It's about choosing to act even when the odds seem against you. This test arrives when life corners you into making a decision that feels impossible, when stepping forward feels as risky as standing still. But here's the thing. True courage doesn't guarantee a perfect outcome. It only asks that you trust your strength to face what's ahead. Let me share a story. There was a woman who dreamed of starting her own business. She had saved for years but was paralyzed by the fear of failure. One day, she decided to leap, investing her savings into her dream. The first year was a disaster. She faced rejection, mounting debt, and moments when giving up seemed easier. But she pushed through, and by the second year, her persistence paid off. Her business thrived, not because it was easy, but because she didn't let fear dictate her actions. Courage often feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, with no guarantee of a soft landing. This test strips away everything but your willpower and faith. Whether it's standing up for your values, leaving a toxic relationship, or pursuing a calling others don't understand, courage demands that you embrace uncertainty. The key to passing this test lies in small acts of bravery. Start with what feels manageable. Having a difficult conversation, taking a single step toward a long-buried dream. Each act builds a foundation for greater courage. Reflect on your victories, no matter how small, and let them remind you that you faced challenges before and survived. Courage teaches us that fear is not the enemy. Inaction is. It shows us that the path to growth is paved with risks worth taking. And in the end, every brave choice we make strengthens our spirit, shaping us into the resilient, fearless beings we were meant to become. The test of trust. Trust is one of the most profound and challenging spiritual tests. It's a quiet voice that urges you to believe in something greater than yourself, even when logic and evidence seem to suggest otherwise. This test appears when life feels uncertain, when the path ahead is foggy and you're asked to move forward without knowing where it leads. Picture a sailor lost at sea, with only the stars to guide him. The waters are dark, the winds unpredictable, but he keeps his faith in the constellations above. Trust is like that. It's not about control, but surrender. It's not about knowing the outcome, but believing that the journey has a purpose. A real-life example of trust is in relationships. Think about the vulnerability of opening your heart to someone, knowing they have the power to hurt you. Yet, without trust, no relationship can thrive. Another example is trusting life itself. Have you ever been at a crossroads where one choice felt like a leap into the unknown? It's in those moments that trust becomes a bridge between fear and possibility. The test of trust often demands patience and courage, blending the lessons from the first two tests. It's about letting go of the need to control every detail and accepting that some things are beyond our grasp. Practices like journaling your fears, meditating on surrender, or simply saying, "I don't know, but I believe things will work out," can help you cultivate this trust. Trust doesn't mean passivity. It means aligning your actions with faith, knowing you're co-creating with the universe. And even when life doesn't unfold as expected, trust reveals its deeper truth. Every detour, delay, and disappointment carries a hidden gift. Ultimately, the test of trust transforms how we navigate life. It frees us from the weight of doubt and opens us to the infinite possibilities of what can be. Trust teaches us that the universe is not against us. It's conspiring in our favor, even when we cannot yet see the full picture. Every great journey is marked by challenges, but these tests, patience, courage, and trust, are not meant to break us. They are the fire that refines our spirit, revealing the strength and wisdom we carry within. Life might not always unfold as we expect, but that's part of the beauty. Each obstacle is an invitation to grow, to let go of fear, and to step into the person we are meant to become. As you reflect on these spiritual tests, consider the power of your words in shaping your reality. How you speak to yourself and the world can transform the way you navigate these challenges. If you'd like to dive deeper into this idea, I highly recommend the video, How Your Words Shape Your Reality. It's a perfect continuation of this conversation and will inspire you to align your words with the life you truly desire. Remember, the path may be difficult at times, but with patience, courage, and trust, every step becomes a part of your transformation.